top 4 supplements for menopause. I'm going to share that with you. And you might be thinking, four? Just four? I want to say this. First of all, I want to say this video is for. This video is for you if you are a woman over 40. And if you're a man listening, you perhaps know women over 40, so you can get this information for them. This is for you if you are over 40 and you are headed into that. I like the word peripause. I heard that the other day, peripause. I think that's going to be the new phrase for perimenopause. But if you're in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, so people think they don't need to tune in if their cycle has stopped. So this is for you. We're going to talk about the 4 supplements. And I'm going to tell you that the 4 that I'm going to mention are foundational. It doesn't mean that other things won't support you, but I want you to hear me out when I share this with you and why. So we're going to talk about 4 supplements that I want to say are must-haves for us as women in midlife. I want to say this first. Supplements to the side, your nutrition is your foundation. That's where it starts. So everybody wants to know, what can I take? What can I take? Take your nutrition seriously first. I did a class, and it is available to you, where it talks all about the foods to eat to mitigate symptoms and concerns related to menopause. I am a nutritionist. I don't even think I introduced myself. I'm Robin-Nutritionist for the past 16 years, and my intention is to connect with women over 40 to help you get your nutrition life in order. Get your nutrition life in order and glide into this pause phase instead of slamming in. All right. So a couple of things. Your nutrition is key. This is not a supplement, this is food, but flaxseed is something that we need and have and can use. It helps with our estrogen. With the flaxseed, you want it to be ground and you want to keep it refrigerated. Flaxseed. Okay, so let's jump into the 4 supplements that I recommend. And then I'll mention some other things that you may be thinking, well, what about this? Why didn't she mention that? All right, so let's jump into it. And it's in, well, I want to say no particular order, but maybe it is. So number one, can you guess? Number 1 is vitamin D. Vitamin D is so critical for our health, oftentimes misunderstood and not taken seriously. Something so simple. It's an easy deficiency to have and an easy deficiency not to have. And if you have melanated skin, your ability to get it into your body is not as efficient so it comes from the sun. So let me just say that vitamin D comes from the sun. We're not in the sun as much. And then if you have darker skin, our bodies, the sun hits our skin, and then that's how it's produced. But we have this beautiful barrier that is a good thing, but it helps to block that process. So vitamin D is key overall for us in this pause phase. I did another video around here that will tell you how much to take, all of the things, all of the questions. But if you have questions, put it down below. So number 1 must have is vitamin D. I am a nutritionist, and we have our brand Necessary Nutrition Vitamin D for 16 years now. We have been sharing vitamin D, but it was really during the pandemic that we realized how, when people didn't have the vitamin D up to par, how they fared with that. Number 1, vitamin D. And you still might have questions. How much do I take? All of those things. That is I told my husband, I said the other day, my thug thizzle. He's like, what? So I'm from California, West Side, and he's East Coast. So I said thug thizzle, and he's like, what? So yes, vitamin D, that is what I study, and that is my expertise. And we'd love to be your supplier of vitamin D. Vitamin D3 with K2, by the way. The K helps to get dietary calcium into our bones. But number 1 is vitamin D. So number 1 of 4, number 1, vitamin D. Number two would be magnesium. Now, magnesium, absolutely can get it from food. Dark chocolate is one of the wonderful places to get it, your green leafies. So I would just say, let me back up. With vitamin D comes from the sun. So that is one of the vitamins that is not as abundant in food. You can get it in egg yolk, you can get it in mushroom, you can get it in fatty fish, but it is not as effective as the sun. So that's where you primarily get it from. So vitamin D is one of those where supplementation is like usually the recommendation. Magnesium, and there's a whole lot of different forms of magnesium, so many different forms. I'll do a video on that too if you want to know all the different forms. So magnesium you can get from food. You can get from food, but supplementation may be applicable to help with sleep and muscles and nerve relaxation as we go through this journey. And then you say, well, how much magnesium a day? So like 400 mgs a day. But again, there's so many different kinds that's a whole another video. What I don't necessarily say, because that's what we do, we just go out and buy stuff. And we have a bag full of supplements. We don't know why we're taking them. We don't know what's the best form. It's tricky because supplements are not regulated. It's a wild, wild west out there. So I'm giving you the foundation, but as we go along, if you hang out with me over time, and also if you ask me questions, I'll do videos for what you need. But so I'm generalizing, magnesium, but I'm right now not going into the different forms. So vitamin D, magnesium. Number three would be omegas. Omegas are so needed for us. It's like lubrication for our cells. So think about your car. You wouldn't or you shouldn't drive your car without oil because it won't work. It's the same for our cells. Our cells need the oil that's in the omegas. Comes from fatty fish. There's different places food-wise that it comes, but that's one of those supplements that are usually very beneficial for us, again, with our joints, and it just helps to reduce inflammation. And I personally take a plant-based source because for that, you skip the middle fish. And I'm not vegan. I do eat fish, but it's like the plant-based form doesn't have the mercury and it's sourced from algae. And that's the one that I prefer. And it's also super, super effective. So again, there's so many supplements out there. And if the marketing is good, people can, think that it's the best thing and it may not be. So I love to do evidence like blood work evidence or even testimonies from people that say, I take this and I see a difference, right? So an omega, and I will share with you the omega that I use. It's plant-based. And then lastly, and remember, this is foundational. The last thing that I take is actually not even considered a supplement. I take encapsulated produce because number one, nutrition is number one. And so if we are deficient in our nutrients, it will show up in how these symptoms play out for us in menopause and perimenopause. So the last thing that I recommend is encapsulated produce. And I'm specifically going to tell you the name of what I use, and then I'm going to put the information down below. So I use what's called Juice Plus, and it's called Juice Plus, but it's not a juice. It's encapsulated produce, the pits, the peel, the seeds. I'm getting more 30 different raw fruits and vegetables in a capsule every day. And why this is powerful is because if we were to eat 7 to 13 servings of raw produce a day, we would be better off. We would have a better outcome. It's known that the more produce we have, the better our pause phase will be. But the food is not adequate. And then we have to eat so much of it because of soil and just big food is doing us a number these days. So with the encapsulated produce, it's the pits, the peel, the seeds, and all of that turned into a powder, and it's in a capsule. I'm going to grab one. That works. I'm always doing these videos, but I did another video somewhere that shows it's other women sharing their experience with all of this produce. And it's not even considered a supplement because it says nutrition facts. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Nutrition facts. But that is my foundation and my recommendation as a nutritionist. So we said vitamin D, we said magnesium, we said omegas, and then I said the juice plus fruits, vegetables, and berries. Foundational. Now, after that, foundational, first, your nutrition. Let me repeat this. Your nutrition is first. I did a whole class on that. You can get the class because it's literally a class where you're taking notes on what to eat. So not even supplements. We're talking about food. So number one, and then the 4 supplements that I recommend for menopause because it is foundational for us. Then once you do that, then you assess, oh, how do I feel? What's going on with my body? Am I okay? Because what I'm going to mention to you next is not foundational, but it's a support. Because you're maybe thinking about, well, what about red clover? Because that's supportive. And I actually take red clover tea. Or what about primrose oil or milk thistle? Or what about black cohosh? Or what about wild yam, right? Those are other supplements that are said to, and in some cases known to support us in this journey. Not everybody needs all the things. So I would be doing you a disservice by just listing out all these things. What I want to do is do it systematically, give you the foundation and say, do those things and see how you feel and get your hormones checked because then you know what you're deficient of. Because it might just be that you get your nutrition in order and these symptoms dissipate. Even with vitamin D, one of my clients was just telling me, her customers was saying that when she started getting her vitamin D in order, she didn't have the symptoms anymore, right? So I could talk on and on about this. What I would love for you to do is a number of things. Ask me questions. Love questions. So put your comments down below, put your questions. I will answer them for you. If you want to go deeper and know what foods to eat and what other protocols to do to make this pause journey better, then I did a class on that and the details are below. If you want to know about the plant-based omegas that I use, I'll tell you about that. And then also where to get the Juice Plus Encapsulated Produce. And there are a lot of imposters out there. But what I want to encourage you is not to just jump around from supplement to supplement. Take the foundation consistently for at least 4 months and then assess. Does that make sense to you? Right? To just do something consistently and then see how you feel after consistently doing a thing, and then get your hormones checked. And then and only then you can move into, do I need red clover? Do I need red yam? Do I need evening, like all the other things? Do the foundation first. All right, I think that is all that I want to say. This is Robin, nutritionist from Necessary Nutrition, the creator of Necessary Nutrition Vitamin D, also the Necessary Nutrition Pause Plan. Like this video. I have to say all this YouTube verbiage. Like, subscribe, share, all those things. All those things. I'd love to stay in touch with you. And I do these videos a few times a week, different topics. Let me know what you want to know about. As I said before, nutrition is my thug fizzle. West side. I'm a Californian now living on the East Coast. Nutrition has changed my life. I was pre-diabetic, overweight. I was going in a not a good direction, and food just makes me feel good and look vibrant. And people ask me, well, what do I do with my skin and how is my skin so all of those things? Because I do well by nutrition. That is like, and I try to be happy. That's another story. Anyways, let me get off of here, guys. Let me know what questions I can answer for you. Try the 4 supplements that I recommended if you so inclined to do so. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace and blessings. Eat well, think well, and be well. This is Robin, Necessary Nutrition. Take care.